Two Sheds Gabby here. Hello, everyone. We're back for another hunt today. It is Sunday afternoon, and it's kind of a crazy day. We had storms and flooding here in Kentucky all night long. People having to be saved from flash flooding all over the place. And then all of a sudden this morning, it turned to snow. Snow like crazy for a few hours. Even where I attend church services, they called off service. And so now it's a few hours later. I think the roads are fine now, but it's just a lazy afternoon. Got maybe an inch of snow out there, something like that. But I thought this is a good time. Let's get into some pennies. I got a few other things to talk about. No wheat penny ender, but this is weird. It looks like this shield penny has a plastic coating over it. I don't know what's going on there. I'll open this one up first to see what that is. Anyway, we'll go through this box of pennies and see if we find anything, any fun in there. Let's get started. Well, it truly is a little shield, plastic shield. It didn't replace a penny. There are still 50 pennies in here. I guess they just wanted to protect this fine penny from getting the death ring on it. That's pretty neat. Look at this. This is a very nice looking 2009 here. Philly. That's a good one. Cool. This whole penny thing has got me slowed down because now I have to start turning them over. The shields, I used to just go fly past those shield pennies because I wasn't interested. But now, now I have to watch out for a 2025. Oh, man. Always trying to slow me down. 82. Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth the 2025s yet, but just in case it is, I want to keep them until I know otherwise. If they stop production early, obviously that means they're going to be low mintage. And I'd hate to pass them up. This is the 6th row, and so far no wheat penny yet. I've gotten one S cent. Hey, there's a hair. That's nice. Is that a wheat penny? It is. Wheatie number 1. 1947. Very nice. Well, cool. Look at this now in the 8th row. Here's a 1940 Canadian, which means it's a King George, but look how blue. What's going on there? Oh, that's terrible. Where's his head? Oh my goodness, that is a mess. I guess I'll see if I can clean it up any. Oh my. That's awful. We'll put it aside and see what we can do with it. That's a shame. I love finding those King George. Well, if any of y'all was around my video where I was talking about the sour cream. Oh, a couple of days ago, my mom invited my wife and myself over for lunch. She had made something along the lines of I guess you'd call it something like a chicken pot pie, but kind of a layered thing. And she had cornbread topping on top of it. And we got over there, and I took one bite, and I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. There's a layer of sour cream in it. It's like, I can't stand sour cream. Oh, sorry, I thought you was okay with... I don't remember what else she said, but it's like, no, this is foul and disgusting. I'm sorry. Oh, I mean, I've talked about sour cream in her presence 1,000 times. But I know she doesn't remember things, so I was mad at her. I'm just like, I guess she just doesn't remember stuff very good anymore. Anyway, I had some, my wife ate it, and I just sat there and talked with them. And then, fortunately, we had a little bit of, no, ground beef. Boy, my brain is just meatloaf. Where was my head? I guess I'm forgetting stuff too. We had meatloaf left over, so I came home and ate some of that. And now we're in the ninth row, and here's a fine looking 1952D. Wheatie number 2. Cool. Have any of you guys heard of a movie that was called Skidoo? I think it was the late 60s. It was Groucho Marx's last movie, and it had Jackie Gleason and a bunch of other comedians in it. I heard that they didn't really want to make it. They just wanted a paycheck. I'd never heard of it before. This is the 12th row. Wheat penny number 3, and this one's rough, pretty beat up. 56D. He's dinged up a bit. Wheatie number 3. I was reading that there is a ghost town here in Kentucky. It's over in the eastern part of the state. I think it's called Lynch. Oh, look, it looks like his eyes coming out in what he's seeing. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. A little town called Lynchburg, ghost town, that used to be a huge mining, coal mining area. Said there was like over 10,000 people there. And now it's a ghost town. And I'm thinking, I want to make a trip over there maybe this spring and check that out. That would be fun. This is the 13th row and wheat penny number 4. Keep them coming. 1945 P. Nice. Wheatie number 4. So I'm just trying to read articles all the time. What's going on with the penny and all that stuff. And the latest article I read said the end of the penny means more nickels. Here's an 83. We'll chat away. And, whoops, sorry about that. Zinc. It said that the lowest denomination coin always has the most, just the nature of coinage. And one of the reasons there was lower mintage in 24 is because they was trying to save money and not produce as many. But with the penny gone, it says that will put more demand on the nickel, and that means they'll have to print a lot more of them. And it costs more to make the nickel over the price than it is the penny. And so now there's going to be a big debate if they're making the right move at all, and what changes could be made. Because some people are saying we should get rid of the nickel too. I think that it will change the composition of the nickel. I don't know if it'll happen this year, but if they're gonna do away with the penny, and if they're gonna keep the nickel, they have to make it of some steel or aluminum or something, because they can't keep losing to this extent. They say it takes over 13 cents for the production of each nickel. And that's crazy. That's a lot. And so will they come back and reevaluate the penny? Will they get rid of the nickel too? I can't see that, because then what do you do for giving change for the quarter? That would be a real mess. So who knows? They may sit down in a panel and say, we can't even get rid of the penny now. There just isn't enough being said out there. Here is the end of the 14th row, and here's wheat penny number 5. 1951 Philadelphia. Boy, I hope they keep coming like this. That's really cool. Oh, I want to show you a few pictures. I mentioned, I think, at the beginning, we had flooding last night. Here is a scene in one of our parks here in Louisville. Don't go for a drive or walk here today. And as long as we're giving out a few warnings, watch out for falling rocks. Wow. Right at the end of the 16th row, and here's Wheatie number 6. 58, Philadelphia. Wheat and penny number 6. Very nice. Very cool. And here's this. Go on, don't be a sissy. You can make it. Now I am in the 18th row, and here's Wheatie number 7. Boy, I hope they keep coming like this. That's good. 1942. Cool beans. If only pennies had a 35% silver. Wouldn't that be fun? So guess what other countries have done away with their lowest denomination coin? Australia got rid of theirs, 83. Let me weigh this guy. It's zinc. Norway, Switzerland, and the UK. That's pretty interesting. All of those countries have dabbled in socialism. I don't know if that means anything. I definitely don't think Trump is going in that direction at all. I just think that's interesting. And, with the talk of the nickel, the problem we have with the price of the nickel, it's possible that Trump would just want to stop it for a year because, what was it, 42 billion pennies waiting to go into circulation. Maybe he thinks we can just do without them for a couple of years. I don't know, we just haven't heard enough details of what the intention is. I just came across a penny. It's a zinc, but I think it didn't get struck right. You can't hardly see the numbers at all. And the Liberty is pretty sad. And the In God is a little bit weak. The We Trust is a little bit better. But look at that. I guess it was a 95, and it's just barely there at all. Let's see if the reverse... Well, the reverse looks okay. But yeah, that is definitely not struck right. Well, this will definitely go into my oddball coin tube for sure. So Canadians say that even 10 years after they had eliminated their penny, that people haven't gone crazy as far as the collecting and hoarding and stuff. It's obviously it is going on, but they said it hasn't been the outcry like they thought it could have been. In fact, one pretty large coin place there says when people bring him in jars of coins, he only pays 1.5 cents. Are those cents? 1.5 pennies each for each penny. And that's not very much, especially because theirs are 98% copper. Of course, he wants to make profit too, though, so that's could be a reason behind that. But I talked to some people from Canada. People are definitely collecting and that sort of stuff, but they just say the reports are that it's not as big. But that we don't always believe everything we read, do we? I let my King George soak in some vinegar and salt for a few minutes. The blue's off of it, but it's a rough coin. The obverse is even worse than the reverse for sure. Yeah, that's in really bad shape there. That's a shame. I love finding these coins, but this one's really bad. I guess its only purpose would be to just throw it in with my copper hoard, because it is 98% copper. It's pretty sad. This is row 22 in the box, and here is wheat penny number 8, I believe. That's going pretty good. It'd be nice to get as many in the second half as I get in the first half. 58D, pretty common. That's okay. I just love finding them. Wheatie number 8. I was in a bank yesterday cashing in some coins. $50 actually, whole box of them. 82. And I said, oh, you happen to have any Ike dollars or anything like that? She said, no Ike, but she goes, I have something you might want. And I said, what you got? And she said, they're regular dollar coins. She said, but they're in cases. I'm like, oh, let me see that. And so give me just 1 second here. Here they are. Isn't that neat? $2007. Oops. This one is 2003 S. That's very cool. S, I assume that means that it's proof. How about that? 2007 D. I thought that was really neat. And I only had to give her $1 each for them. Oops, sorry about that glare. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. Here's another really nice 2009 here. Yeah. I found 2 others. This is the 4th one I found. This one is like the first one, just real nice. The other 2 were not very nice at all. I got them stuck aside because I go through a lot of stuff now with my machine, so I'm not keeping the... Obviously, I'm not looking for the 2009s when I'm doing that. So I thought I would just pretty much hang on to most of them that I find now. While I was out banking, I stopped in at another bank. This is another branch that I take boxes of $50 to, and it was another full box. That's what I do there. In fact, this particular branch, I went in one time months ago, and I took in a box that had 1 or 2 rolls missing, and they took it, no problems. And I came in again another time, and we were just talking about them, and they said, I asked them if they still had the others because we were just conversating about it. And she said, no, we can only send them in when they're full boxes. I said, I did not know that. And she goes, yeah. I said, well, I'll bring you another. I think it was only 1 roll, maybe 2. I said, I'll bring in a couple rolls so you can have a full box. And she goes, we don't have to. She goes, but we'd appreciate it. Yeah. So next time I was out, I brought them a couple of rolls. And let me get to the next row. All right, here's the next row. So I took them a couple rolls. They said thank you. They like me quite a bit. They're pretty nice there. And I went in again yesterday and took another box. And the lady there said, we were just talking about you. I said, oh, yeah? She said, yeah. And before she could even say anything else, this gentleman came up from behind her, and handed me these bags. These are the same bags, that I get the dimes in from another bank, but it's the same. It's coin. This is bags designed to go in like coin machines. But the ones I get from the other bank obviously doesn't say Chase. They say Chase. But these are the bags that they put $50 in to send back to, I guess, Brinks or whoever they send them to. And he said, if it would be easier for you, it'd make it a little bit easier for us. He said, you don't have to re-roll your $50. He said, just throw them in here and bring them into us. He goes, because we have to open up every roll and put them in these bags to send them back anyway. I'm like, well, you all never told me that. Because they've always told me you have to bring coins in rolled. I mean, always. And so that's what I've always done. And so I don't know, 82. I suspect because I have gotten really good at always just taking them exactly a full box so they feel like they can trust me. I don't know. Because he said, just bring your bag, bring the box in here or in the bag, and we'll just take care of it from there. I'm like, okay, I can do that. It's not that big a different deal to me. I can pull out a roll of $50 and just slap it back in the roll almost as easy as I can throwing it in that bag. I mean, it's not that big a deal. But I'll try that the next time I go through a box to return to them. I'll throw them in the bag and just see how they respond. If they really like me doing that, then I'll do that for them. But anyway, that was kind of interesting. I asked the lady at the next chase that I went to, 82, if it was a headache for them to have to tear open each roll and put them in the bags. She goes, it's easy. She goes, we don't care. She goes, you bring them to us however you want to, whatever's easiest for you. So, every bank looks at things differently. I am all the way up to the 9th row in the second half, and I finally get to wheat penny number 9, a 1944D. Wheat penny number 9. Number 9? Goodness. 83. Zinc. The 13th row into the second half of this box of pennies. And we get wheat penny number 10. Yay. Got our 10. That's mighty cool. I believe that's copper. It is. $95. Oh, looky there. Number 11 right there. 1945. All right. Oh, when the kids were with us, we went for a little trip last night. Is that another Wheatie? The third one back? Right there? No. Okay. And they found this in the back of my car. Money clip, I guess. It's a heavy one. Ingenium, established 2016. The only thing I found in Ingenium, business-wise, was a kind of a higher priced hiring agency, a staffing agency. That might be what this is from. I don't know. Pretty nice looking money clip. Heavy. Yeah, the flooding around here has been crazy. I'm going to get out tomorrow. I hope everything's died down. I'm going for a little drive. Meet up with somebody. Probably go to a couple of banks while I'm out. Return a few coins. Just practically at the beginning of the 14th row, and I find Wheatie number 12. 58D, Wheatie number 12. Someone contacted me, wrote to me, and was telling me a story. They said that, oh goodness, somebody in their family had a dime collection, and they kept them in cigar tubes, like their fancier cigars or whatever. And I thought, hey, you know what? Wonder if I could find them. It was the same year that I met my wife to be at the time. I was working house security, part-time, at one of the fancy hotels in downtown Louisville. It was called the Golf House. And I used to round up these guys. They had a little smoke shop, gift shop type thing, and they would sell fancy cigars, sometimes in metal tubes and sometimes in glass tubes. And I would gather them up occasionally, 82, and hang on to a few. I wonder if they're still, or I need to look around in boxes, and I might have a few of those. I'd like to see if the dimes fit in those. Might be kind of neat. That was a pretty interesting job working at this place. While I was there, it was less than a year that I worked there, but I met Bill Monroe and Diane Sawyer while I was there, 82. You know, just not an intimate talk, just kind of a shaking their hand and they're on their way. Well, just like the last row, the second coin into this row, and I found wheat penny number 13, 1944. All right. I like finding them. One of the jobs for house security there was walking the floors, making sure that stragglers didn't get in and harass people or try to sleep in the hallways and stuff. And there's 25 floors. And so you just had to go from floor to floor and walk up and down the hallways. And this is like on the night shifts. And it can get pretty dark and almost creepy walking these, because sometimes the hotel was not very full at all. And there might be floors just not even, just empty. And it was pretty, well, my boss said the thing you have to watch out for the most is the things you don't see, just because the things you think you see, because he said it's really easy to start thinking you see things moving and stuff like that. Anyway, here's another Wheatie right here, 56D. There was a restaurant on the top floor and one on the, I think it was the third floor, and they would let you go into the kitchens, and if there was some foods left over or prepared, you were welcome to feed yourself, which was pretty cool. And I would just go check stuff out every now and then. They might have a burger. I'd reheat it and eat it or something. And one time I was just kind of looking around to see what they had. And they had this little plate of icings, like shaped in like a little ducks. I guess they'd put on top of cupcakes or something. And I just grabbed one of those little cupcake icings and popped it in my mouth, and it was just butter. It wasn't ice. That was pretty gross. Just 7 rows to go, and here is wheat penny number 15. 1953D. 15 wheat pennies. Might even find another one. I think the restaurant was on the second floor, not on the third, because on the third floor, just outside, was a swimming pool. And, and on the second floor, where the restaurant was, there was a window that looked into the swimming pool. And people got in the swimming pool, didn't know that that window was down in there. And people would jump in the pool and make all types of adjustments and that sort of stuff with their bathing suit. Had no idea that people could see them. A couple of years later, they got rid of that window. 3 rows to go, and here is Wheatie number 16. 57D. 16 wheat pennies, 16 candles. The top floor, the 25th floor, in the restaurant, how it spins, it turns as you dine, so you can, and it looks out over the Ohio River, and you can see different scenes as it, it turns really slow, so you might get, 2 or 3 rotations in or whatever while you eat. It's pretty cool. I don't know what they've got now, but all around the hallway and stuff outside of that area, they had just old scenes, old photographs from the little area from a long time ago. Well, this is the last row. Let's just go through it and see if we find anything. 82. The hotel had several entrance exits around it, for the patrons. And a couple of them was pretty, out at night. It was out. There's a thing called the Belvedere, a really neat area that you can walk around look over the river and over interstates and see part of Louisville. It's just a real, kind of like a little concrete park, you might say. And there's an entrance and an exit there. And so at your third shift, guys, they had to keep most of the doors unlocked. 82. So the security guys would just sometimes at night just sit at the door, just take a chair and just guard the door. I mean, lonely job for sure. You could take a book or whatever you wanted to do. No cell phones back then, and you just sit at that door and just, you could stand up and walk around up and down the hall a little bit, but you had to even step outside the door, but you had to stay pretty close to that door because they wanted the patrons to be able to come and go, but they didn't want the unwanteds to come and go. Well, it looks like we're going to end with 15 wheat pennies. 82. I got a whole bunch of 82s I got to weigh, and then we'll see how much copper we got. Well, here we go. Let's see what we've got. I don't think it's 3 pounds. No, it's not. 2 pounds, 12 ounces, right about. Well, that was enough to fill another box. 15 pounds, and then I put the 2 ounces in to cover the weight of the box. We got us another one. Leaves a few left to start my next box. See you guys later. There's a bald eagle in the tree.